Once there was an elderly lady named Margaret who lived alone in a small village, surrounded by rolling hills and whispering forests. She had seen many years, years full of joy, of sorrow, and of change. Through all of it, she seemed to carry a quiet, peaceful happiness within her. It puzzled many of the villagers. How could someone so advanced in age who had faced so much still carry such warmth in her heart? Margaret had once been a young woman, full of dreams and ambitions like so many others, but life has a way of shifting our plans. She lost her beloved husband to illness. Her children, grown and with their own lives, had moved far away. For many years, Margaret lived alone in her little house, tending to her garden, reading books, and watching the world pass by. At first, it was hard. The silence felt deafening. The empty chair at the table seemed to mock her loneliness. But over time, Margaret discovered something simple, yet profound. Happiness doesn't come from things, or even from people sometimes. Happiness is found in little moments, the fleeting, quiet moments that we so often overlook. One winter, a young woman named Emily visited Margaret. Emily had heard of Margaret's quiet joy despite the trials she had faced. She asked her, with curiosity and concern, "How do you remain so happy despite everything life has thrown at you?" Margaret smiled, her eyes twinkling as she invited Emily in for tea. The warm aroma of the tea filled the room, and Margaret began to speak slowly, with a soft voice that carried the weight of her years. "You know," Margaret began, "after my husband died, I was lost. I didn't know how to keep going, or even if I wanted to. And for the longest time, I thought that happiness was something that happened in big moments, like the day we were married or the day our children were born. But one day I was walking in my garden in the middle of winter. The ground was covered in snow. Everything seemed still and lifeless. And then I saw it, a single flower, just one, poking through the snow. It was small, fragile, but it was there." Margaret paused, a soft sigh escaping her lips as she looked out the window, remembering that moment. That flower, it made me realize that life, even when it seems cold and barren, can still be beautiful. That beauty doesn't have to be grand, or perfect. It's in the little things, like the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of children laughing, the smell of bread baking. I learned that happiness doesn't come from waiting for life's big moments. It comes from cherishing the ones that happen every day. Emily, listening intently, felt something shift within her. She smiled and thanked Margaret, grateful for the wisdom shared. Over the following weeks, Emily returned to visit, drawn by the calm strength Margaret exuded. Emily, too, began to see the small moments, those fleeting, ordinary things that often went unnoticed, and slowly she began to find peace. Margaret's story spread through the village, a gentle reminder that happiness isn't something we chase or buy. It's something that grows quietly when we learn to appreciate what we already have. And as for Margaret, though her years were many, her heart remained young, filled with gratitude for the present moment. Her happiness, like a gift, was shared with everyone she met. And through her quiet example, Margaret taught them all that no matter how old we get, happiness is always within reach, if only we choose to see it. The delivery would have pauses, soft moments, and slight inflections to draw out the emotions, like nostalgia, warmth, and a bit of sadness mixed with the hope of her message. It would feel persage, like a wise friend sharing life's lessons with you, giving you space to reflect.